Listen, the New York Jets are 3-3. I don't think we could have really realistically asked for a better outcome with the Aaron Rodgers injury in the first snap of him being a New York Jet. In fact, the first drive. In fact, it's crazy because I had this team at 3-3, 4-2 with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. So to be at 3-3 right now, to me, it's just wow. The Jets are 3-3. Um, so how do we feel about the first 6 games of the season? The first third of the season is done because it's the third. It was 6 games. There's 17, so a little less than. Anyway, for the first 6 games of the season, the New York Jets have, I think, impressed enough to give us hope. So let's talk about it.
I can do it all, I will never fall off the renaissance. You know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you won a loss? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a renaissance, man. I can do it all, I will never fall off the renaissance. You know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you won a loss? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a renaissance, man.
Congratulations, brother.
And here we. Okay, so first and foremost, I know it's been a while. I haven't done a video in quite a bit. You guys, of course, who follow me, see me on the Thursday Think of It. I jump on a couple of shows here and there and chop it up with a couple of fellow Jets content creators and Dolphins creators. I haven't dropped a video in a while. In fact, the last time I dropped a video was my prediction video for the Jets versus the Patriots. Obviously, we know how that went. And I got into my head that, you know what, I was messing things up. I was doing too much. I was making these predictions and I was throwing off the energy or the aura or whatever it is into the universe. And I didn't want to be the reason we kept losing games. So against the Chiefs, I was a little bit distraught and I didn't want to put the negative energy out there of the Jets losing that game because I really thought it was going to be a much worse of an outcome for us. And so I didn't do a video. But that game was close. And I saw a turnaround point in Zach Wilson. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little bit stitious. And maybe this is me doing my part to go ahead and help out my New York Jets. So I haven't done a video in regards to predictions. I know a lot of y'all have been asking about it. Some of y'all hate it because y'all like how I do the prediction videos. So I appreciate that. I'm if you think I should go ahead and stop stressing about the whole superstition stuff and keep doing the prediction videos, leave a comment below. I'll take it into consideration. I felt like the team has played better since I stopped making prediction videos. Again, that's probably just in my head. But yeah, look, as a Jets fan right now, I'm going to do every little thing I can to go ahead and help this team go in the right direction. But you know what? Let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm just doing too much, and then we'll revisit this topic moving forward. But with that said, the New York Jets have done an incredible job. When you take into consideration, we lost our QB1. Unfortunately, as well, in the Denver game, we wind up losing freaking Elijah Vera Tucker again for the season. Devastating because at the end of the day, I kind of feel like there's a curse currently going on. So right now, I look at it as an opportunity. An opportunity for us to, I guess, in essence, sit back, look at what we've achieved thus far, and what can we possibly achieve moving forward. The New York Jets at 3-3 are still in the conversation. The Patriots are at 2 and whatever now. They wound up beating the Buffalo Bills recently, and they also the Miami Dolphins lost to the Eagles, putting us within reach, a game and a half out of first place in the AFC East. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we are locks to be the AFC East champions, but I can tell you I don't believe the Buffalo Bills are any good. I think we were talking about this as the season progressed in the offseason. I don't think they did enough in the offseason. I felt that their defense was going to take a step backwards with the loss of Leslie Frazier. There was just too many question marks about that, and you're kind of seeing that now. You're starting to see, the detachment from the Dable era when he fixed Josh Allen, him just reverting back to some dumb mistakes to where, look, at the end of the day, man, like they lost to the Patriots, who the Bills have, I think, an abundance more talent than they do, and they still lost. It is what it is. Mac Jones looked like he was freaking baby Brady during that game. So to me, it really tells me that the AFC East is wide open. I know some people would have you believe that everybody in the AFC East is frauds, and that couldn't be further from the truth. When you look at expectations for teams like the Jets and for the Patriots, who have now surpassed that, right? The Patriots just beat the Buffalo Bills, who's supposed to be a Super Bowl favorite. The Jets just beat the Eagles, who are also supposed to be Super Bowl favorites, and went toe-to-toe with Kansas City Chiefs. In fact, they were a BS call away from potentially winning that game as well. Like, the Jets have proven quite the opposite of being frauds, especially when you take into consideration we lost Aaron Rodgers. So there's only two frauds. Actually, I wouldn't even say two frauds. I think the only real fraud in the AFC East is the Buffalo Bills. I think the Buffalo Bills are the reigning AFC East champions. I think they came in here with a level of bravado that they could just go ahead and run through the AFC East because they just had it like that, not even realizing that their own team was taking steps backwards and their window was closing. I do believe that the AFC East right now, if I had to put money on it, the Miami Dolphins win the AFC East this season. But if there's somebody that'll put money on it to win it after them, it's the Jets. I think we're going to sweep the Buffalo Bills this season. I think they're going to go ahead and catch an L from us in Buffalo as well. I just don't think this team has it figured out on defense or offense. I think Josh Allen has regressed. This is now year 3 away from Dable. You're starting to see the impact of how Dable was able to kind of put him back together prior to bringing in Stephon Diggs and becoming the OC for him. It's all in essence coming together. I love it where we're at. I do. I think when we lost Aaron Rodgers, we had to realize something, man. The season, in essence, was in jeopardy, right? We went from being Super Bowl potential contenders with this elite defense that we currently have and Aaron Rodgers at the helm to, can we make the playoffs? Can we salvage the season? At 3-3, we got the answer. The answer is yes. The Jets just went through the gauntlet that is the first portion of their schedule. And again, any given Sunday, any team can beat you, but now we're on the back end of it where it gets a little bit more lax. And our counterparts, the Miami Dolphins and the Bills, schedule get a little tougher going into this part of the season. So it looks like the table has shifted a little bit in terms of being favored. I mean, heck, the New York Jets right now are favored against the New York Giants at 3-point favorites. I hate it. I personally hate it. And I think I hate it because we've seen time and time again where that has failed for us. And I go back to the whole superstitious thing, man. I don't know, man. I'm just a little bit stitious, and I think that I would rather us be underdogs than the favorites for this game. But like I said before, I'm not going to do a prediction video. I think that game is going to be interesting on its own, and I'm not worried about it. I'll put it like that. But I think as you look at the rest of our schedule, the New York Jets schedule right now with this defense, this running game can actually start getting going because some of these defenses right now that we're going to be facing struggle with stopping the run. Zach Wilson, I think, has shown steps to where just last season I was talking about if we had average quarterback play, I think we could have won the AFC East. I still stand by that. I think if we had that 15th to 20th range in terms of quarterback play, we could have won the AFC East last year behind our defense. That defense was dominating. And now this year, this defense figured out how to turn the ball over. Now, granted, last season before the bye, it was very much like this, right? The Jets won some games. The defense was turning the ball over. We were playing lights out football, and it came crashing down on the back end. People are worried this is going to be the same outcome, but I think there's evidence to show that that should not be the case, right? The defense in itself, a lot of these guys are maturing. They've put themselves into another tier after being in this defense for, an additional year, 2 years, whatever the case might be. We've got a linebacker right now in Quincy that is playing at an all-pro caliber level. The dude is just balling out of control. We got 2 linebackers who are right now in the top 10 in the NFL in terms of efficiency and productivity. Our secondary, although banged up, you saw guys step up that, we didn't even know had game the way they had game and slow down the likes of the Philadelphia Eagles. And the week before, I'm forgetting right now who we played, but they showed up, right? And I think seeing how deep it goes shows just how comfortable some of these individuals are in the scheme. And being comfortable in the scheme allows individuals to play freely and fast. They don't got to think as much, right? Salah preaches that he wants his defensive guys to play fast and free. And I think you're seeing that come to fruition more and more. I think right now we're in a situation to where we've got a couple of pieces that I think are wasting space, and I would love to see them disappear so we can go ahead and get some youth infusion into our defense and offensive side of the ball. I think Carl Lawson, a thank you for your service, but I think it's time we go ahead and pack that up. I know he's on the trading block now. I would love to go ahead and see him moved, potentially for a mid to late round pick. I know Dalvin Cook right now is also on the trading block, and I would love to see him moved. I will say this: the Dalvin Cook thing kind of agitated me a little bit because I really thought when we got him and we paid an extra 1.5 mil that it was worth it because we took another weapon potentially away from the Miami Dolphins, who already have some of the fastest players on the planet on their roster. In hindsight, I wish Dalvin Cook was a Dolphin because in essence, he would be a bit of kryptonite put into the speed infusion that is their running back room. Dalvin Cook just looks cooked. Like, he just does. I don't know if he's not comfortable in the system. I don't know if he just looks cooked, man. I'm over it. I would love to see Izzy get more touches now. Again, I think speed kills. You're seeing the Dolphins do that, killing teams that they should be killing, utilizing their speed. But they've struggled against teams that play pretty good defense, right? I mean, the Bills and the Eagles, I got them averaging, I think it was like 18 points a game. The other games they've played, they've averaged 40 points a game. Like, it's crazy to me when you look at the Dolphins in terms of trying to figure out who they are. Again, I still believe that offense is legit, but their defense is suspect. Their special teams hasn't really popped. They're a one-phase team offense. And it looks like whenever they go up against some pretty good defenses, that can be slowed down. So when I watched them destroy the freaking Denver Broncos with a 70-point just beatdown, I was worried that maybe we just didn't have the horses. But then you look at the defensive they've dominated, and they've done their job and straight dominated those guys. But teams that have defenses that can play defense were able to go ahead and contain those guys. So I feel much better about facing the Dolphins now because I think they're really the guys we need to beat if we want to win the AFC East. I don't think it's the Bills. I think it's the freaking Dolphins. I think the Dolphins, even though their defense is suspect and their special teams is suspect, I think their offense can put up enough points to where you can get dominated at any time. And if our defense can match up well enough with our defense can match up with what they do on offense, I think our offense can put points up on these guys. I think the running game can be effective, and I think Zach Wilson can go ahead and play an efficient game to get us a win against the Dolphins. I think we'll split with those guys. I think they'll win the one at home. But overall, you got to look at what you've seen, the body of work of this Jets team, and feel good. You got to feel good. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. When Aaron Rodgers went down, we thought our season went down with him. Here we are at week 7 right now with the NFL season. The Jets are 3-3, where I think the majority of the fan base, content creators, analysts had the Jets at 3-3 at this point in time, potentially 4-2. And you look at the losses, in all actuality, the Jets are a couple of penalties away from potentially being 5-1. The biggest freaking the two biggest things they need to improve right now in the second half of this season is they need to cut down on the offensive penalties because they are killing drives, man. You see these guys moving the ball between the 20s, and you're like, wow, right? Impressive. The majority of the time, they're getting stopped by themselves from freaking penalties. And then once they don't stop themselves, they get into the gold zone, the red zone, and in our case, the barren zone, right? Because we can't seem to get into the end zone. And we stutter. We're not capitalizing on those red zone opportunities. Field goals are cool, but they're not going to go ahead and ultimately be enough against some of these teams that we're going to face that can put up points on the board. Depending on our defense to go ahead and turn the ball over 3 times a game continuously is going to be a hard ask, right? To have them keep teams under 17 points a game continuously, it's going to be a hard ask. Okay, like it's it's not the norm. The NFL is built for offenses to succeed, and you can only ask so much of your defense. So for me, the Jets are really, they're right there. They're right there. You've seen Zach Wilson take massive steps in his evolution and in his growth. Now, granted, this is the guy we're talking about that was beneath the basement. He was buried underneath the house, underneath the basement, and then now he's shown progress to be in the basement, walking up the stairs, potentially getting into the house. Like, so again, like, he's taken massive steps, but this was a guy who we thought was dead in the water last year, and this is a guy that we all cried when we realized was going to be our quarterback again this year, right? But he's played average NFL football, and he seems to have gotten better week in and week out, actually. So after this bye week, hopefully they've cleaned up some of those issues with the red zone, not being able to turn those field goals into touchdowns. Maybe they figure out a way to get the running game more efficient outside of just Breece Hall. Like, we haven't seen Michael Carter really come out and explode. Dalvin Cook, I really think he's cooked. I think the way to fix that is just put Izzy in, but I digress. Overall, man, I'm excited. I'm excited and I feel good because I really did not think that we would be here, that we'd be able to have a conversation about the New York Jets still being in the AFC East potential, like, winners, like AFC East champions conversation at this point. After Aaron Rodgers went down, I thought we might win one game. We beat the Buffalo Bills, and I thought, okay, we could probably win 2 games. And we got 3. That's a big deal. 500 going through that gauntlet. It's a big deal. And I think now, as our schedule gets a little bit more lax, and again, I get it, any given Sunday. But with a defense like ours, I think we're in every single game. And if our offense can just get 15%, 20% better, specifically in the red zone, I think we match up well against anybody. Anybody. Can the offense be 20% better? I don't know. But I'm excited to find out. Look, listen, I appreciate your patience. I appreciate you guys chopping it up with me, man. I've seen a massive increase in my followers on Twitter and my subscribers on YouTube. And so I appreciate you guys. And do me a favor, and I hope you're following my boy Paul Boy Green. We're doing a massive giveaway with regards to 2 jerseys, an AVT jersey and a Garrett Wilson jersey. I think we're going to be announcing that sometime this coming week. So be on the lookout for that. If you're not following me and him, make sure you're following me and him on Twitter, and especially here on YouTube. And I also got a sponsor, Sleeper, reached out to me, which is, again, thank you to you guys, because, like, this is kind of weird. Never thought I'd be one of those individuals getting other sponsors other than the local businesses that I have had the great fortune of sponsoring some of the videos for giveaways. But Sleeper is they gave me a code or something. I don't have it with me. I don't know much about it for me to sit here and tell you, like, yeah, they're great. I've used them for fantasy football, but they're offering paid fantasy football. Again, it's not my main focus. They're not even really sponsoring this video. They just gave me the ability to go ahead, and I guess they would sponsor it if I got y'all to sign up through them using my code. I'll find the code, man, and then I'll put it in the description. If y'all care to go ahead and use it. I use Sleeper for regular fantasy. I haven't used it for the daily fantasy or the payout fantasy. I use DraftKings for that. I don't know if I should be saying that, because then does that upset Sleeper? I don't know. At the end of the day, look, the fact that they even reached out to me and gave me my own code, I think it's like Gunny Gumby too. It's like the code is Gunny Gumby. I think it's pretty cool. I'll find it and put it in the link or in the description. But I appreciate you guys, man. I do. I think the details are like they'll match up to $120 or $100 of whatever you put into the account for first-time users. Again, I don't know for sure. I'll find it and put all that information in the description. But look, at the end of the day, the New York Jets are 500. I think we're in a position right now to go on a run. I think the Jets are very much still in the conversation for winning the AFC East. And there's a whole conversation to be made of if Aaron Rodgers comes back, what do we do? Does Zach Wilson stay in? I think I'm going to save that for a different video because I think it's too early to get into that kind of a freaking debate. But go Jets. Got the Giants up next, man. I feel good about that game. Go Jets. I appreciate y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all for subscribing, for following. Your time matters to me. I post videos when I'm passionate about something. I don't like to just post videos just to post. So I know a lot of y'all have appreciated that as well. So I appreciate y'all bearing with me over this last, I think it's like 2 weeks since I posted a video on the channel. But I'm done. I'm pumped. Jets are 3-3. We're going into week 8 now. And I think we're about to go on a run. So buckle up, Jets fans. We might actually be on route to changing the narrative. The Jets.
Chant, they like to say, it goes something like Jets, 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 Jets.